You know, there was a time when being middle class meant making it. A house, a car, a steady job. Today, it means crossing your fingers every month and hoping your bank account doesn't hit zero. In 2024, households earning between 53 grand and 161 grand were considered middle class. But 65% of them now say they're struggling and don't expect it to get better anytime soon. For millions of Americans today, making it to the end of the month means scraping by on whatever's left. Sometimes just $100 or less sitting in their checking account, one unexpected bill, one flat tire. That could be the difference between barely surviving and going under. Look, people aren't dreaming big anymore. They're just trying to afford groceries, gas, a place to live, and maybe, just maybe, a single night out without guilt. So how did we end up here? Why does everything cost more? But life feels cheaper. Let's peel back the layers, starting with the biggest wallet killer, housing. For decades, owning a home was the symbol that you'd made it, the milestone, the safety net, the long-term win. But here's the thing nobody told you. In 2025, homeownership doesn't feel like security. It feels like a financial squeeze with no room to breathe. Let's talk numbers. The monthly payment on a median-priced home just crossed $3,000. That's with good credit, a down payment, and a standard 30-year mortgage. You're looking at 36 grand a year just to put a roof over your head. And this isn't for some luxury condo. This is your average home. Now here's the kicker. Housing now eats up 65% of the average household's monthly budget. Financial experts recommend keeping it under 30%. We're talking more than double what's considered sustainable. So if it feels like your mortgage is crowding out the rest of your life, yeah, that's because it is. Think that's bad? Let's zoom out. The median price of an existing home in the US hit $426,900 in 2024. Not a mansion. Not a coastal view. Just your average, lived-in, maybe needs updating 3-bedroom. This isn't a crisis of poor planning. This is a pricing structure that no longer works for the people it was supposed to serve. So why is everything so expensive? Simple, we haven't built enough homes. America is short about 3.2 million housing units. More people are forming households, moving out, starting families. But new housing just didn't keep up. That's not a personal failure. It's a supply and demand problem with a policy backstory. But housing is just the start. Childcare, healthcare, even groceries. They're all climbing faster than paychecks. Here's the thing no one wants to say out loud. Life being unaffordable isn't just bad luck. It's by design. For decades, local policies have intentionally restricted housing, driving prices through the roof.
California's housing agency says the Elk Grove leaders broke state law when they rejected an affordable housing project a couple of months back. The city said that they declined it because it was proposed in a location that was in the Old Town Historic District of Elk Grove.
People in single-family home neighborhoods fight new development, claiming it'll cause traffic, parking issues, even ruin their property values. The result? New housing gets blocked, prices surge, and the middle class gets crushed. We don't need giant skyscrapers everywhere, but allowing small duplexes, triplexes, and townhomes near cities, yeah, that could fix a lot. It's called light touch density, and without it, you get million-dollar starter homes and nowhere affordable to live. It used to just be places like San Francisco or New York. Now, housing shortages are spreading everywhere. Austin, Phoenix, Atlanta, even smaller cities you wouldn't expect. Unaffordable housing is now an American epidemic. While housing might be your biggest bill, it's definitely not your only problem. You thought housing was bad? Wait until you see the daycare bill. In some places across America, childcare now costs families $25,000 a year. That's not a luxury item, that's the price of basic survival. Here's something most people haven't noticed. Childcare isn't just expensive, it's accelerating. Fast. Since 2021, prices for childcare and preschool have been rising at a rate of 0.24 percentage points per month. That's nearly 4 times faster than just a few years earlier, and the fastest pace in over a decade. So if you feel like daycare costs went from annoying to unmanageable, you're not imagining it. The spike is real, and it's speeding up. For a lot of parents, Going back to work full-time barely covers the cost of daycare. Imagine working 40 hours a week, just to clear about $7 an hour after paying for childcare. The US treats childcare like a private luxury. Unless you're extremely low income and qualify for subsidies, you're basically on your own. And get this, even childcare centers are struggling to survive because workers are underpaid and quitting fast. It's broken from both ends. In 2021, America actually tested something that helped, an expanded child tax credit that gave real breathing room to middle-class families. It worked. Poverty rates dropped. Parents could breathe for the first time in years, but it expired after just 1 year. And Congress let it die. If you think childcare is expensive, wait till you hear what's happening with healthcare. America spends more on healthcare than any other country, around $12,700 per person every single year. And somehow, we still rank lower in life expectancy than countries spending half as much. In 2021, over 12 million middle-class households carried unpaid medical bills. That's more than any other income group. And it's not from elective surgeries or cosmetic stuff. It's from broken bones, prescriptions, childbirth, basic survival. And don't think having insurance saves you. Millions of people pay hundreds, some even thousands per month, only to face $15,000 deductibles before coverage even kicks in. It's like paying rent on a parachute that doesn't open until you're 2 inches from the ground. So why is that? Well, pharmaceutical giants, hospital chains, insurance companies, they set the rules because no one's stopping them. Studies show hospital prices in monopolized markets are 15% higher than in competitive ones. And brand-name drug monopolies alone have added over $52 billion in extra costs for consumers. Finally, in 2024, the Justice Department launched a task force to tackle health industry monopolies. It's a start. But unless real competition, or regulation, shows up fast, middle-class families will keep paying sky-high prices for basic care. Look, it's not just housing, or childcare, or healthcare. It's the basic stuff too. Groceries, electricity, water bills. Everything you need to survive is quietly draining your wallet. Imagine telling your kid, "Sorry, we can't afford your soccer season this year," or "Sorry, we can't do that birthday trip." Not because you're irresponsible, but because groceries ate your extra $100 this month. And then there are the sneaky ones. The electricity bill, the water bill, the gas bill. Every month it's like the meter spins faster, even if you're using less. Food inflation hasn't just cooled off, it's stuck around. Between 2020 and 2025, grocery prices rose nearly 20% overall. But staple foods like milk, eggs, meat, those prices exploded even faster. Just when families thought they couldn't get squeezed any harder, 2025 hit them with something new: blanket tariffs on imports. Everything from groceries to appliances now costs more, and economists are ringing the alarm bells. New policies slapped a baseline 10% tariff on every import, plus as high as 145% on Chinese products. The goal? Supposedly, boost American manufacturing. The reality? Higher prices for everyone. The average US household could lose about $4,900 a year to these tariffs. Tariffs aren't just some boring economic theory. They hit your grocery cart, your Amazon orders, your back-to-school shopping lists. When import costs rise, companies pass the bill directly to you. Here's the kicker. Even Trump's own former advisors are warning that these tariffs could supercharge inflation again. More inflation means higher interest rates. Higher interest rates mean more expensive car loans, mortgages, and credit card debt. It's a domino effect. And guess who gets crushed first? Yeah, the middle class. Both parties are promising to save the middle class in 2025. New housing initiatives, new tax credits, new fee crackdowns. But here's the uncomfortable truth. No campaign slogan can outpace bad policy math. Here's the hard truth. No politician, no policy, no miracle is coming to rescue your wallet. If you want out of this mess, guess what? It starts with you. You can't fix the economy overnight, but you can tighten your own game. Your first move? Cut every non-essential subscription, bleeding your account dry. If you're not using it every week, cancel it. No guilt. Next, Build an emergency fund, even if it's just a few $100 at first. That little cushion means one flat tire doesn't send you spiraling into debt. It's your personal economic firewall. It's not enough to just save anymore. You have to make your money work. That means high-yield savings accounts, or investments you actually understand, and side hustles that boost income instead of draining energy. And yeah, personal finance matters, but the real win? Pushing for policies that fix the broken systems too. Affordable housing, healthcare reform, education that doesn't bankrupt families. You can work your own plan and still demand a better future for everyone else. Surviving the middle-class collapse isn't about giving up. It's about playing smarter, getting tougher, and refusing to stay stuck. If you've ever felt like you're running on a treadmill that just keeps speeding up, yeah, same here. Look, surviving the middle-class squeeze in 2025 isn't about being bad with money. It's about being real about what you're up against and getting smarter, faster, and a little tougher than the system expects. Now, real quick, drop a comment down below. What's the one unavoidable expense that's crushing your wallet right now? I want to hear it. Groceries, rent, daycare, parking tickets? And hey, if you learned literally anything today that made you go, wait, what? Hit that subscribe button and join us here at the Not Financial Advice Show, where we break down money, markets, and surviving modern life without the boring lectures. On to the next one.